Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and this here is my little corner of the internet, my craft corner, where I talk about knitting and sometimes other yarn related stuff. And today I wanted to record a knit and chat for you. So grab your project, grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and let's get working. I have my tea right here. It's in this lovely Disneyland Paris mug from the Starbucks collection. And I went to Disneyland Paris with my boyfriend last summer and I really enjoyed it. And I get these mugs at places that have them if I go to them. So I have a The Hague one, I have a Utrecht one, a Paris one, and a United Kingdom one. So yeah, I like collecting them if I travel there. And I thought it would be fun to start this video with a question of the day. And I kind of, well, I didn't steal it. I took inspiration from Fem of the Mindful Creators here on YouTube. And she starts her videos by a tea bag question of the day. But I got this book from my sister for Christmas. It is a question a day for 5 years. So it has 366 questions. And then you get to answer one question a day, and then you do that for 5 years. So you get to see how your answers change throughout the years. And I thought it would be fun to discuss today's. So let me check real quick what the question of today is. And the question is, what are you looking forward to? What am I looking forward to? Well, I have a couple small getaways planned, some long weekends. Well, I haven't really planned them yet. I still have to sign up for them because my student association is organizing 2 trips, one to Belgium and one within the Netherlands. I'm really excited to go on those weekends away with them. So I guess that's what I'm really looking forward to, just having a weekend off that's planned by other people and I can just go and enjoy it. I think that's what I'm really looking forward to. So comment down below what you are looking forward to. I'm really excited to learn about you a bit. So please comment that down below. But let's get started on the knitting. I'm working on my camisole number 5 today. This is by My Favorite Things Knitwear and I'm knitting this in a small. I think I moved up to a small because first I was doing an extra small, but then I last minute decided not to and I did some more increases. So I'm knitting this in Katja Cotton Merino, Katja Cotton Cashmere, let me get that right, and the colorway, this is a pistachio colorway. And I really love it. I really like how bright it is. But I am knitting this on 2.5mm needles, which is a bit of a challenge. Let me say that. It's a bit of a challenge. It's really hurting my wrists a bit. So I have decided to do 1 round a day until I finish this. And I started doing that because of the Begin As You Mean to Knit On challenge by Midsummer Knits Dream. It's her name, Emma from Midsummer Knits Dream. She had this challenge going on in January where you do something every day and you get to decide what you want to do every day for a month. And I thought it was really nice to get this going a bit because this has been on the needles since October, I think, and I have not touched it since November probably, because I joined in around and then I just got over it real quick. I have currently used 1 skein and I'm almost at the end of the second one. So it is not really taking up too much yarn, I think, but it is a very tiny needle, so that doesn't really help a lot with it's a feeling of accomplishment, I guess. I find that I have it a lot recently. For Christmas, I knit a lot of gifts. I knit 7 gifts for Christmas, and then I knit 2 birthday gifts that were people who had their birthday around Christmas. So my sister's birthday was November 30th and my father's birthday was January 1st. So they were really close to Christmas. So I had 9 gifts in the Christmas season going on. And after that, I just didn't really want to knit anymore, and I'm still kind of struggling with that. I'm already noticing that I'm making tiny mistakes. This is my first knit and chat, so I'm getting used to knitting and chatting at the same time. Yeah, after Christmas I just kind of fell into a dip. I did cast on my sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. That is my entry to the Youngfolk's knit along that's going on, the bougie sweatshirt knit along that she's hosting. And I kickstarted that by a 48-hour challenge right after Christmas. And then I don't know, I still have knitting mojo. I still want to knit, but somehow everything is just in a place where I'm not currently wanting to knit on it, I guess. It's just, I don't know, this is going very slow, so I don't want to knit on that all the time. My sweater number 15 has a lot of cables, so that's, you have to keep counting to 10 so that you don't miss a cable. This is going not so great. So you don't have to miss it, so that you don't miss a cable. Then I have the Mind Tricks on, and I also ripped out part of that sweater. If you've seen my latest knitting podcast, you know that I was debating whether or not I should frog part of the sweater, and I ended up doing that, but then I didn't touch the sweater for a few weeks after that because I kind of put it in the corner of shame a bit. I did not really want to figure out where I was in the pattern or what modification I wanted to make, or I just didn't want to think about it, or just didn't want to think about knitting logistics. So I put that away for a couple weeks, and I just started on that sweater again yesterday evening, and it's actually going fine. It's going fine. But I'm maybe talk a bit more about that sweater next, because I'm only doing 1 round of this, and then I have my sweater number 15 next to me, waiting for, just in case I find that this is not enough. Oh no, there's a, oh, it's fine. Just in case I do my round and then decide that I do want to talk more. But yeah, that sweater is really annoying me. It was really daunting to start that back up because I had picked up the stitches, but I realized I wanted to make the armholes a bit shorter. So yeah, it's just a lot of thinking on my part to do the modification to have the armholes a bit shorter, and then I did not know how far I frogged back, if I had frogged back too much, or it was a whole thing, but it turned out to be not that big of a thing. But I didn't knit on that for a couple weeks. Then the Mind Trick socks that I also shared in my last podcast, I had to rip out. So I ripped them out, and then I had to restart them, and I did not really want to restart them, so that took me a while to get back on knitting that. But then it was fine, and now I'm at the heel and I have to think again, and I don't want to think again, so that's currently being put aside, and I have plans to start on that next week again. Just figure out how I want to do the heel, because the pattern says to do a German short row heel, but I don't want to. I want to do a just the heel flap and gusset one. So I have to figure out how to do that, because it's quite an intricate pattern that's going on. So that's one thing I have to figure out, and I just didn't really want to use the brain power to figure that out. And then I have the folder cardigan going on currently. And I also have to think about that one because I finished the back panel, and then for the front panel, I finished the back panel and then I decided I wanted to have it longer, so I knit that one a bit longer before I started the armhole decreases. So now I have to do the same for the front left side I'm currently working on, but I don't know how I am going to do that because that one does not only have armhole decreases but also just decreases here to do kind of a v-neck shaping kind of thing. So I don't know when I have to start that one. I have to start those decreases to get it all to match up perfectly to the back panel and to the pattern. So that's another brain power thing that I have to do, and I don't want to do that. So you get it. It's just not been a lot of knitting for me lately, to put it that way. And I really do like knitting, and I find myself wanting to knit, but I find myself wanting to knit something that's a bit more mindless, and nothing that I currently have going on is mindless. Everything is at a point where I have to think, and I don't want to think, so everything is basically is being put aside, and then I don't knit as much. I started my job last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't know. I currently have introduction days, so it's not too much. I've had 2 introduction days already, and then tomorrow, Sunday, when this video goes live, I'm working when the video goes live. So it's my weekend introduction day, and then I have another introduction day next week on Wednesday. And then the week after that, I'm on my own. So it's not really scary, but it's fine, but it's also just, I guess, a bit scary. Because there's not really someone I can ask questions to when I'm on the work floor on my own. So yeah, we're going to see how that one goes. But I find that I'm really exhausted after work. It's a 9-hour shift and I walk a lot. I basically am walking the entire day. So the shift is from 8:30 until 5:30. And last introduction day, I got my phone out, put my phone in my pocket after 11 a.m. So it was already when I was working for 2.5 hours, and so from 11 until 5:30 I had already walked 10,000 steps. So imagine if I had if I had put my phone in my pocket before then. It's a lot of walking. I really want to get a smartwatch or a Fitbit or whatever you call it to track my steps without me having to put my phone in my pocket. Because I find that when moving around, I don't really like to have my phone in my pocket, and I have to have a couple things on me. There's a work phone, and there are some things like keys and etc. that I also have to put in my pocket. So having an extra phone there is a bit more difficult, I think. It's not, like, it is allowed to have my phone with me, but I find it a bit annoying. But when I get home after 9 hours of straight on walking, basically, I'm just really exhausted, and I find that I just really want to sit on the couch and put on a TV show or a knitting podcast and just sit there. I do want to knit then, but I don't want to think while knitting. And everything that I have is everything that I currently have going on is either color work or cables or ribbing or increases, decreases. There's something going on with every project. So I really do need something to work on after work when I'm exhausted and I don't want to do anything, basically. And I currently don't have that. So what I'm end up doing is I take out my phone and just scroll on there, which I don't really like. I really like knitting because I cannot be on my phone while I do it, and then I just take out my phone to scroll whenever I don't feel like knitting. So that's a shame, and I really want to use my phone a bit less, because it's sometimes you look at the aperture on your phone, you get sent that, or I have a Samsung phone, so it sends me my digital what do you call it? Digital well-being, it's called, I think, and I get sent that, and it's always quite shocking to see how much time you spend on your phone. So I want to stop doing that, but I'm also too exhausted to think about what I'm knitting. I don't know, I just really want a straight stockinette or garter stitch, or just a basic thing to work on. And while I'm saying that, I realized that I actually have something like that. So let me pull it out of the cabinet for you so I can talk about it a bit. I'm almost done with my round, by the way, so I'll talk a bit more about that. But my knitting cube, we have a Kallax thing where we put the TV on, and beneath that is one cube that I use for my knitting. It's this, and this is filled with whips. And I do have one thing that I could work on. I'm just pulling out everything now, and it's right at the bottom. And that is this garter stitch blanket that I was making 10 years ago. If you've seen the video of me let me just get it out of the way. Oh god. If you've seen the video of me rediscovering my old knits, you will have seen this project. It is just these garter stitch things, and this was supposed to become a blanket 10 years ago. I could work on this. I could just knit these garter stitch squares. I just have to see how many rows I did for one square, and then just get going. I could absolutely do this after work. That might be a great way for me to, one, finally finish this because it has been 10 years in making, and two, to get something done after work. So, problem solved, I guess. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Let me put my whips back in the whip basket, and let me put this away. Oh god. Now I'm extra glad that I made this video, because now I have solved my own problem by just talking to a camera. Better than therapy. Great. Yeah, that actually solves quite a bit. I didn't really think of a topic to talk about before recording this video. I'm just exhausted with work currently. I'm finishing my thesis as well. So I'm doing 3-4 things at the same time. I'm finishing my thesis. First of all, I'm handing the first draft in next week. So that's scary. Yeah, I'm handing in the first draft, and then I am looking it over with my thesis supervisor next week. And then it's maybe finished, or I'll have to revise it a bit, I think. And then I'll hand it in for the final version, and then my thesis supervisor and my second reader, we call it in the Netherlands. So you have your thesis supervisor who looks at it and gives it a grade, and then you have an independent, or well, independent because in my field everyone knows each other. So I don't know who my second reader will be, but I'm pretty sure I know them because, yeah. So that person is supposed to be independent and looks at it. They have not advised you on your thesis anywhere throughout the process. And they look at it and give it a grade, and then your supervisor and your second reader will discuss what they thought of your thesis and kind of give the grade that's in between the two. And then they talk to you, ask you a couple questions, and depending on how you answer the questions, they either go to the lowest grade of your, or the supervisor that gave the lowest grade, or they will favor the one that gave the highest grade. And then that's your end result basically. So that's the process that I'll be going into soon. That's the first thing that I'm doing. And the second thing I'm doing is obviously my museum job that I'm starting at pretty soon. I have that going. I'm also, well, pre-coding, I think you call it. Well, it's the literal translation from Dutch. But I get sent PDFs of old magazines, old Dutch magazines. And I write the codes of the authors and just the headlines, sub-headlines, quotes, poems, everything. I write on the PDF online, and then I send it back, and it's digitalized for the DBNL. And there, it's a big Dutch open library, online library kind of thing, where you can just read books, magazines, or everything that's basically published in Dutch. So I work there a bit, and I have that going on. I have a deadline coming up for that pretty soon, so I should be going, I should really be working on that right now. But I have that, that's the third thing, and then the fourth thing is my Craftcorner. It's my YouTube channel and my Instagram. I'm trying to grow that a bit. You can find the link down below, or I'm called emma.craftcorner on there. So pretty similar to my YouTube channel's name. But I have 4 things going on currently, and that's quite a bit obviously. So I'm pretty here, there and everywhere. So I did not really have time to do a lot of research for a video for today. So I just thought I would go and chat to you a bit. This is strawberry tea, by the way, and I love it. But yeah, I just thought it would be nice to talk to you for a bit, and I think I will call it quits pretty soon, but I won't keep you too long here. But I have a couple more things to say, I guess. Yeah, my round is finished now, and I have done this much. I put the stitch marker in where I started this January 1st. It's currently January 21st, I think. So this is how much I've done, and I will just measure it. A measuring tape right here. Now see how much I did. I knit about, let's call it 7.5 centimeters since the beginning of January. Or no, wait, I did this wrong. I always find it difficult to measure my knitting because it stretches a bit, and then I don't know how far I need to stretch it or how far I have stretched it. Yeah, I'll say 7.5 centimeters. And I have to knit 27 centimeters to have this finished. I think it's 1 or 2 centimeters that I had done before January. So at this rate I might be finished somewhere in April, which is fine, which is alright. I do really like the idea of continuing doing 1 round a day on this, because as I said before, it kind of hurts my wrists when I knit on it too long. And I usually incorporate knitting this in my morning routine. So I just have my breakfast ready, and I have a knitting podcast on while I eat breakfast. And then I knit on this for a bit. I really like doing that in at the start of my day. And I do think I will continue that for however long I like, but maybe until the end of this project. Really, I will have to do the arm. I think this is a double knit band here, and then the neck is done with ribbing. So I will have to do that in the end, but before then I think it would be nice to just knit around the day and see how far I can go with that. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing the next couple of months. So you'll be seeing this in videos for very, very long. The sun is really coming over here, so it's fine. So yeah, I think I'll close the video off here. I really enjoyed talking to you, and yeah, please comment down below the answer, your answer to today's question, and I hope to see you guys again real soon. Bye!